Hey, what's going on? Geoff Mosher with another Inside the Birds Minute. I wanted to talk today about defensive end because it's a position that Eagles fans have been reaching out to me or Adam on Inside the Birds Twitter account or just through other various ways to get in touch with us about how the Eagles are going to upgrade defensive end on top of cornerback and wide receiver and safety this year. And it's not an easy question to answer because I know while a lot of fans think that the Eagles are not good enough at pass rusher, specifically on the edges of defensive end, the Eagles have a lot of options and they have a lot of players that they are already invested into to the point where I'm not sure they look at this offseason as their opportunity to really fortify the defensive line with either a free agent, a big name free agent, or a first round pick. So before I get into names, I'll say, like, people want to say, what about Jadeveon Clowney, right? Or what about some of the top pass rushers in the NFL draft with a first-round pick? And I say, look at the landscape of what the Eagles have right now at defensive end. They have Brandon Graham, who I don't think is going anywhere, and I know that people don't consider him a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, 10 to 15 sack type of DN, but he is still one of the better two-way run pass rushing, run defensive ends in the league, and I just don't think he's going anywhere, nor do I think he should go anywhere. Derek Barnett, some have argued, has not lived up to first-round pick, 14th overall pick material. You know, he's definitely got an incomplete resume. He had a really nice rookie year. He's obviously was hurt his second year. Last year was inconsistent. But there are times where he's very good at what he does, and he is still a first-round pick who's going to enter year 4. And I just don't see the Eagles giving up on him, and I don't think there's a reason to say, quote-unquote, give up on him. He's going to be on the team. When he's on the team and healthy, he's a starter. So he and Brandon Graham are your starters. Now you look at the backups. Vinny Curry's going to be a free agent, so we'll see if they bring him back or not. But even beyond that, you've got Josh Sweat. You got Sharif Miller, who they drafted last year in the 4th round and was kind of a project, and it's time to see what he can do in year 2. And, of course, they traded a 4th-round pick for Jannard Avery from the Browns, and he is the fastest, most twitchy, explosive defensive end that they have as far as from a speed rusher standpoint. Obviously, someone they're invested in by giving a 4th-round pick up for. And then Joe Osman. Now, Joe is somebody that factored into their plans last year in his second year, and then he got hurt towards ACL, but he'll be coming back. And he was going to make the team, and they were going to try to use him last year until he got hurt. He comes back and, again, finds himself in the same situation, someone they're going to try to use. So look at the numbers there. Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, right? Josh Sweat 3, Sharif Miller 4, Joe Osman 5. So they have 5, and then depending on what they do with Vinny Curry, or maybe they look for a defensive end, a veteran on the market for a 1-year deal to take the place of what Vinny Curry gave them last year. But that would probably give them 6 pass rushers. And maybe I'm forgetting somebody, but at least that right there is a stable of players. So does that mean that the Eagles will not get a defensive end at all this offseason? No. Again, they could get one through free agency, a 1-year veteran to kind of maybe take the place of Vinny if they don't re-sign Vinny. And again, when you talk about the 1st or 2nd round, if there is a premier pass rusher who has fallen to where they are, right, and the Eagles just have him so highly rated that they can't say no, say the kid from LSU, whose name I have trouble pronouncing, Kelvin Chiason. Maybe I got that wrong. But if he's there where they pick and he's a top 5, top 10 guy, of course they'll pick him. But you have to think with the draft and how they're going to have guys rated and what they're looking for. Wide receiver, corner, safety, all those guys, especially with the strength of those positions in this year's draft, are probably going to be above pass rusher. So that's my roundabout way of saying, if you're thinking about Jadeveon Clowney, if you're thinking about some other big-name pass rusher on the market who's going to command a lot of money, if you're thinking about the 1st round and what defensive ends are going to be available there, I think you're probably barking up the wrong tree right now. You may not love it, but the names that the Eagles have right now at defensive end, I think they're comfortable with and they like, and they've certainly invested either draft capital or some money into, and so I don't see a huge upgrade at defensive end this year in free agency. But I'll leave you with this thought. The pass rushers that they have, imagine maybe you didn't love how they played last year, but imagine how much better they could be if the Eagles got better at corner and safety and were able to hold their coverage a second or two longer. There were some games last year, like the Vikings game, the first Cowboys game, where it was just easy pickings for the offense. But there were also games when they started to get their act together in the secondary that you saw the pass rush come alive. Remember Fletcher Cox? Hopefully he'll come back from a better season than he had last year. He's still a good pass rusher. Malik Jackson will come back from missing all of last year. He was brought in to be a pass rusher. The Eagles have more pass rushers than you might think, but they've really got to stabilize the back end to help make those pass rushers be able to do their jobs better. All right, it's been Geoff Mosher with another Inside the Birds Minute here on our YouTube channel. Please make sure you're listening to the Inside the Birds podcast. Please rate, review, subscribe, all that. And please, when you're on our YouTube channel, remember to subscribe to that too. Thanks a lot for watching.